Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Expert, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday. So if you are new here, please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Before we get into today's stream today, where we're talking about the cryptocurrency news, I want to talk about some of the merch I've received from Crypto Saving Expert. Now, Crypto Saving Expert are launching a merch store very soon, and you can get your hands on some of this stuff. So we've got LED lights. Now, finally got this out of the packaging for those that were viewing yesterday. So I'm thinking of putting this up behind me in the streams here, so you'll be able to see that more often. It's a bit frustrating because I think the B comes out backwards on the camera, does it? Let's take a look. Oh no, it looks all right on that end. Perfect. So that'll be going on the wall behind me. We can also have some Bitcoin socks on. These will be for sale on the CSC merch store with some Bitcoin logos on there. And we've got some more exciting stuff. I don't know how much we're gonna give you as a preview here on the site. I don't want to give it all away. We've got some really exciting stuff coming that no one else seems to be selling right now. So I'll keep that as a little bit of a secret and show that. The CSC merch store will be launching very soon. Let me check in with the chat. Let me pull up the chat for today's stream. Let's see what's going on there. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining. As always, Jason Smith says, great, the stream is on at sensible time here in Australia. Yeah, apologies for the fluctuations in stream times over the last couple of weeks. It's been crazy here at Crypto Saving Expert. We've got 1 week. This next week from tomorrow, the streams are going to be super early, so that'll work for you, Jason, in Australia, and then we'll try and get back to 11 a.m. every single day. So we have these lovely LED lights in the merch store anyway, coming very soon. And also, before we get on to today's stream, I would like to say a massive thank you to Frank from the team at ETHEREUM NFT for sending these two. We have a dude and a Bood. Now, they are characters from the new ETHEREUM game, and they are definitely worth checking out if you have not already. Fun fact here, ETHEREUM is actually the Greek word for unlimited, boundless, infinite, or indefinite. So, fun facts there, definitely worth checking out ETHEREUM if you have not already. They've sent those all the way over from Hong Kong. So thank you very much, Frank and the team at ETHEREUM NFT. But let's move on to the cryptocurrency news now and see what else is going on. Let's get into the cryptocurrency news. I'll stop showing you all the goodies I've been sent this week and we'll look at what's going on here. So first of all, Bitcoin is up slightly within the last 24 hours to 0.03%. It's down for the week 5.44% though, so we can't really celebrate that tiny move to the upside there. We are seeing here that we are currently trading at $25,727, still within that range. We haven't broken any major levels of support. We haven't broken any major levels of resistance. Until we do so, we are looking at more sideways action, but soon we may see a breakout, so prepare for that. We are also seeing Ethereum down ever so slightly to 1,630. We have had some massive news about Ethereum now, something that hasn't really pushed the price in the direction I would like to see it do so. So we have actually seen that ARK Invest with CEO Cathie Woods, a big fan of the cryptocurrency space, has filed for the first spot Ether ETF. So what we're seeing here is we've seen a huge shift into the ETF space. BlackRock, Fidelity, Bitwise, loads of companies have filed for spot Bitcoin ETFs, and Bitwise have actually withdrawn their application, but we've seen a huge amount of applications for spot Bitcoin ETFs within the last couple of weeks, and now we're seeing Cathie Woods trying to get ahead of the game and applying for an Ethereum ETF here as well. Now, earlier, 2 weeks ago now, I think it was, Grayscale won their lawsuits against the SEC, and the courts proved and said, look, the SEC are declining spot Bitcoin ETFs without enough reasoning. There's no reason as to why they're not giving a good enough reason as to why they're rejecting these ETFs. So I imagine that Cathie Woods and others at ARK Invest are looking at this and saying, the SEC have lost in court now. And the reasons they have been rejecting this spot Bitcoin ETFs are not good enough. So the chances of these getting accepted is actually become more and more likely. I actually think it's predicted that there's a 75% chance that the spot Bitcoin ETFs will get accepted. And they've probably put those reasons why the courts disagreed with the SEC onto Ethereum and thought, we've got a fighting chance here as well. We do not need to stop at a spot Bitcoin ETF. We can look at all the reasons as to why the SEC lost their case for rejecting spot Bitcoin ETFs, and we would probably win if we applied for an Ethereum ETF as well. So this is getting me very, very excited, and this could trigger a massive move to the upside. Like we always say here, spot ETFs are baskets of the cryptocurrency that are traded on the traditional stock markets. So this opens up the doors for crypto because people in the traditional world like how they do things traditionally. They don't want to learn how to KYC and AML onto a centralized exchange, which they don't really trust because they've heard of FTX and other problems like that within the cryptocurrency space. They like to invest in their traditional methods. So with spot Bitcoin or Ethereum ETFs, they can do exactly that. They can get exposure to the cryptocurrency space without having to sign up to these centralized exchanges and doing all of their research and finding one they can trust and learning about self-custody and the rest of it. So with ETFs, it really opens up that door to traditional investors. And the second big benefit from this is when traditional investors see massive companies like BlackRock getting behind something and saying, look, we're a massive fan of this, they want to get involved as well. They don't want to be left behind on the wave of cryptocurrency. So things are really, really heating up now in the cryptocurrency space. I am getting very, very excited. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee this morning. Let's see what's in the chat. Crypto Dave said, dude and booed. Yes, dude and booed all the way from Hong Kong. I'm actually visiting Hong Kong later this year. I've never been to Hong Kong before, so I'm very, very excited. So these are dude and booed from Ethereum NFT. Again, thank you very much, Ethereum, and do check them out if you have not already. Let's see what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news this morning. Before we forget, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. So what we have here is Kathy, we've already done that article today. We're on to the next one. Arthur Hayes believes that the Bitcoin bull market has already started. So let's take a look at this. Arthur Hayes has said, me and the rest of the market rightly saw through this as basically them admitting that they caused this problem. Now this is regarding the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank earlier this year. Now at the start of this year, we saw a couple of banks having some problems, to say the least. And with that, we saw the price of Bitcoin pump massively. Now, people are looking at what was happening in the banking system and saying, look, we can't trust this. We want to be able to have self-custody over our funds. We need Bitcoin. And that was a massive win for the cryptocurrency space. So we're seeing here that Arthur Hayes has said, this is one of the ways you can fix it, which is print more money. So if we see money printing, we've seen over the pandemic, that also causes a move to the upside for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Now we're seeing here that he has actually said he believes it will take the market around 6 to 12 months to react to what actually happened at the start of this year. Now this would position us perfectly for just before that Bitcoin halving in April 2024. We're also seeing the spot Bitcoin ETFs having a deadline just before that Bitcoin halving in 2024. So things are starting to align here, and a lot of us are getting very excited that this could mean that bull market. There's more and more reasons here as to why this next bull market should take place. Now, obviously, we all are expecting a bull market next year. It's not definite. It's not 100%. We go in 4-year cycles. That trend could break. But when we're looking at what's going on here, we have more and more reasoning as to why it may not break. We have the spot Bitcoin ETFs. We have those with a final deadline just before the Bitcoin halving, with a 75% likelihood right now that they are going to be accepted. We have this news here from Arthur Hayes saying it's going to take 6 to 12 months for the markets to react to what happened at the start of this year, positioning us perfectly for the Bitcoin halving. And then obviously we have the Bitcoin halving, which is known to trigger a bull market. So we're just getting more and more reasons here to get excited and get ready for that bull market. Now I am a big believer that there will be another bull market very, very, very soon. We have that Bitcoin halving. It has traditionally triggered a bull market. I follow the trends of history. That is how I trade always. So I'm very much anticipating that and preparing for that. But there are some people out there that need extra reasoning to believe that. So here we go. Here we have it. Let's see what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news. Before we forget, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest crypto. Also, get ready for the CSE merch store to launch very, very soon. We've got some nice mugs here as well. This one has got a Bitcoin on one side and the CSE logo on the other side. So it's very, very nice. I was with the team yesterday preparing some of that stuff for the merch store. I will actually show you. I wasn't going to show you this, but I think I want to show you this. We have on the CSE merch store. Now, this is something I haven't seen anybody else launch. Should I be showing this, or is it? I think I'm going to hold off on that one. Sorry, I've changed my mind. I think we should wait until the site launches there. What you can do, though, to take advantage of the CSE merch store is go to CryptoSavingExpert.com. If you're not a CSE Plus member right now, make sure to check out the Crypto Saving Expert website. We've seen a big change this week. We've had a huge upgrade. We have launched Crypto Saving Expert Plus. When I've been saying on these streams, we've been very, very busy behind the scenes. This is what we have been building. So we've got a bunch of new courses on the cryptocurrency website. We've got a portfolio tracker. We've got a community Discord. We've got a merch store that's about to go live. We've built out the site behind the scenes for so long now. And we can see here that we have Community Plus membership and Community Premium membership. So here you can see that you can sign up to get unlimited course access, community Discord access. You can get market analysis reports, not only from the analysts at Crypto Saving Experts, but also from that Martini guy as well. We're going to be running competitions in that Discord chat to get that rolling and get more people involved. And we are going to give users early newsletter access if they sign up to Community Plus. Now, another benefit of signing up now is that we have actually included a £75 CSE merch store gift card for Community Plus members and a £125 CSE merch store gift card for premium users. So you get those gift cards that you can spend on all of this good stuff. We've got all of this, and again, I have showed this a few times in today's stream, but we are launching Bitcoin LED signs here as well. So this is going to be up on the wall behind me at some point in time. Dylan says, Jess, will you ever launch your own channel? I do have my own channel. So I actually had my own channel before I joined Crypto Saving Expert. So Crypto Saving Expert started around 2 years ago, right in September 2 years ago. And I was one of the first to join in January. I would have been working at Crypto Saving Expert for 2 years this January coming. But how I actually started was I already had a cryptocurrency YouTube channel, and I got in contact with that Martini guy, and he saw my videos on my own channel. So my channel is called Interpret Crypto, but it's not big. It's a very, very small channel, but I've been posting on there since December 2020. So it's been a long time that I've been posting these videos. Hopefully when the bull market comes, we have a lot more people joining us every day. But one day we'll see the rewards. Let me have a sip of my coffee this morning and see what's going on. Let's get back to the cryptocurrency news. That's what we've all come here for. So let's take a look at this story here. A lot of people getting excited about Solana once again. Now, Solana is an interesting token. I was a massive fan of Solana in the previous bull market. I like how it works. I've done a lot of research into this token. It was one of those tokens that I invested into at the start of, in the last bull run. I was actually an early investor into Solana, and I made huge returns off Solana. I was a big fan. I did actually sell and make some nice profits there. And then FTX happened and kind of drew it out for me. So what happened here is FTX are big holders of Solana, and then FTX went defunct, disasters struck there in November 2022, and then the price of Solana absolutely tanked, and I went from being a big fan to being a Solana shorter. So I was shorting Solana when all of that FTX stuff was going on. Now, I don't really touch it. I'm not really interested. I did say at the time, I don't believe it's going to come back, but we've seen some shifts since then. Now, when that FTX thing happened, I could see, and I have seen with previous projects, that something like that happens and it just never comes back in the next bull market. What we see every single bull market is a massive shift in even the top 20 tokens. Everybody thinks that we have these top 20 tokens, these top 10 tokens, and they're going to stay the same for every bull market. For every single bull market, there are massive changes that people do not expect. Your favorite cryptocurrencies now that you think are safe because they're in the top 20 tokens might get replaced in another bull market. We're talking 4-year cycles here. So 4 years is a long time for somebody else to come along and build something better that gets more heavily adopted. Now with Solana, I thought that was going to be the case when FTX happened. It had its nice move to the upside. It had got a really high spot in the market cap list, and then FTX were big holders. It absolutely tanked, and I thought, you know what? It's had its day. I think it's really going to struggle to come back. But since then, we've seen some really positive news. I'm not saying my mind has changed just yet. I'm not a Solana holder. There are still other projects that I would personally prefer to hold over Solana, but maybe it will make that comeback and perform very, very well and go back into my top altcoin list. But let's take a look at this. So Visa extends stablecoin payment system to Solana. Lots of people are feeling bullish. If we take a look at the price of Solana right now, it's currently ranked number 12 in terms of market cap, down 1.83% in the last 24 hours, but trading at $19.41. Now, if we take a look at the weekly chart here, you can see that it was much, much lower when FTX collapsed. So it was trading at $33 prior to the collapse and trading at $12 and even down to $8 after the collapse. So that was a very rough time for Solana. You can see it was all the way up at $260 last bull market. So it'll be interesting to see how this token survives, but we are seeing some big partnerships and lots of excitement and hype back surrounding the token, which I never thought I was going to see. Let's see what's going on here. Morning, James says, morning, Jess. Nothing comes to those that wait. Everything comes to those that promote. I am promoting the Crypto Saving Expert merch store. Very, very excited for it to come live. Dylan says, thanks for the info. It's great to have more females in crypto. Yes, it is. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button. We're currently on 11 likes. Let's try and get to 25 by the end of today's stream. I've actually got a warm coffee for once. Normally what happens is I go and make a coffee, and then I'll come and sit down to do the stream, and I'll get distracted for another half an hour on a different job. And then by the time I come on the stream, my coffee's cold. But today, we're straight on it. Robert says, good afternoon to Jess and the team. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please don't forget, if you haven't already, check out CSE Plus. We've got loads of information over on there. Let's see what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news now. I promise I'm going to stop shilling Crypto Saving Expert Plus in a couple of weeks. But we've just launched this product, and not many people are aware of it yet. We have seen a load of people joining in the community Discord though. TMG has been very active in there as well, so make sure to join in if you have not already. Let's see what's going on here. So Bitcoin miner Marathon Digital mined 9% last Bitcoin last month. Now what is this due to? They've had unfavorable weather conditions, and that has reduced their output because of the electricity. Let's take a look at this. Decrease in Bitcoin production from July was largely due to increased circulating activity in Texas due to record high temperatures. These temporary shutdowns more than offset the progress we have made to increase our operational hash rate and optimize our operations. We have seen increases in hash rates within the last couple of weeks as well. Now, this is definitely a positive thing for the cryptocurrency space. Hash rates are a hash rate refers to the difficulty it is to mine a block on the Bitcoin network. Now, we want to see a new block every 10 minutes on the Bitcoin network. If nobody's mining, it's really easy to mine a new block because we want somebody out there to be able to mine one within 10 minutes. But if everybody's putting loads of effort into mine, we want to make it really, really difficult so we don't have a new block every 30 seconds. So what we do is we have this hash rate and it fluctuates constantly to try and get that average pace being one block every 10 minutes. Now, we have seen that hash rate increase within the last couple of months, and it's really positive. It means more energy and effort is being put towards the network, and therefore the network is becoming more and more secure. Let's see what's going on here. Christian says CSE Plus is fire, will be worth every penny. Thank you very much for that comment. And also make sure, if you haven't, to check out the courses on CSE Plus. Am I logged in? I'm not sure I'm logged in here on the site. Let's take a look. No, I'm not logged in here, but you can see We've got courses on cryptocurrency communities, so you can learn about that. We also have blockchain development courses. You can learn how to create smart contracts on Ethereum using Solidity. You can build a multi-signature wallet. You can build your own cryptocurrencies. You can learn how to protect your your smart contracts from attacks like reentrancy attacks. And we've got loads more courses still being built behind the scenes that are going to go straight to Community Plus members and premium members. And we also have this one. This is a really interesting one. How to use ChatGPT to enhance your trading. And also, if you want to trade using the order book there as well. Honestly, I would recommend every single one of these. They are very, very good courses. The team have been working really hard on them. Let's go back to the news here and see what else is going on. So, only 6 of 210 million Bitcoin investors are billionaires. So, of all 425 million global crypto investors, 6 of them have holdings worth over $1 billion. Now, this obviously has all been calculated from on-chain data. So, we're looking at single wallets that have over $1 billion there. Now, the number has massively declined, obviously, with the cryptocurrency prices declining. But overall, 6 is a very small number here. We have billions of dollars in the cryptocurrency space, but it's dispersed quite a lot right now because of the move to the downside. Alex Bell said, got in on Crypto Saving Expert Plus last night. Thank you so much, Alex Bell, for supporting and joining in and in learning about the space even further. Crypto Saving Expert Plus is a great way to educate yourself, getting in on our community. I think the community aspect is my favorite thing about it. The courses are great as well. Well, you'll be waiting to use your merch store voucher as well. Maybe get your hands on some of these subs. If you got the annual membership, you get a gift card for the merch store as well. Let's see what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news. I'm getting very, very distracted this morning. Too much coffee, I think. Let's see what's going on here. Binance delists BUSD pairs but announces further FDUSD pairs. So what's happened here is BUSD is basically dead now. BUSD was a token backed by Binance but issued by Paxos. Now Paxos we're getting investigated by regulators in February this year, and they had to halt BUSD minting, and they are completely stopping BUSD next year in February, this February coming up, I believe. So no new BUSD can enter circulation and can only be redeemed. Paxos is allowed to fulfill redemptions until February 2024, and then that is it. So BUSD is gone. Binance have delisted BUSD pairs, and Binance are now trying to push FDUSD instead. Now, one really interesting thing about this article is the fact that Paxos were issuing BUSD, and it was all running smoothly. Binance had heavily adopted it. They were pushing for users to use BUSD on the Binance platform. Then regulators said, no, you shouldn't do that. BUSD isn't working right. And now Paxos, instead of saying, do you know what, regulators have got involved with us, we can't continue, Paxos are now issuing PYUSD, PayPal's stablecoin. So that is really, really interesting there, how we've seen that shift. I'm going to do some more research on that story because it seems a bit odd. Let's see what's going on in the next article here. Let's see what's going on here. Dylan says, do you ever do any streams with Jordan? I have done a couple with Jordan. I did one on his channel a couple of weeks ago, and occasionally he does join us here on the Crypto Saving Expert live streams. He's not done that for a while, but I'm sure he'll be back on the channel very, very soon. It's very hard to do a live stream together because we both have a lot to say, so we both like to talk. We'll try and get him on the channel here very, very soon on the Crypto Saving Expert live streams, and he can talk us through the latest crypto news as well and put his opinions in on what's going on. Let's see what else is going on here though. So Coinbase Credit has launched lending for US institutions, so a new lending service for US clients here. So let's see what's going on. The SEC is according to a filing with the SEC, Coinbase is providing lending services to institutions in the US. So a filing states that Coinbase's first sale or lend was on the 28th of August, with the type of security offered being debt. So Coinbase is spearheading institutional services. Coinbase has changed the game within the last couple of weeks. Now, Coinbase and Brian Armstrong have been really fighting against the SEC in terms of cryptocurrency regulation, trying to get the space regulated and trying to help build the industry as a whole. And I never really had an opinion on Brian Armstrong, the CEO and founder of Coinbase, until this year, I really think he has been advocating for the cryptocurrency space and really trying to push forwards with everything. He's tried to create regulation and guidelines for determining whether assets are securities or commodities, whether the SEC should be regulating or not. They've created schemes to try and push for regulation in the cryptocurrency space. He's really been trying to fight this regulation head on. Now, we're not saying we don't want any regulation. What Brian Armstrong and Coinbase have been fighting for is to have clear guidelines and transparent regulation, and that is something the SEC is lacking. It seems to not be able to provide. So what we're seeing here is Coinbase have said in the past, if the regulation in the US doesn't improve, we're going to have to start focusing elsewhere. And now we've seen a massive shift, and Coinbase have really started focusing their efforts on institutional investors instead. Now, this is all heavily regulated, but if they can do that in that way, then they can continue to operate in a way where the regulators aren't going to be on their back, because the centralized exchanges have been targeted by the SEC within the last couple of months. So to see them being able to work around this for now and focus on the institutional investors in the US and focus on retail investors elsewhere is how they can continue to push forwards. And that is something that I can definitely be on board with. Let's see what else is going on in the next article here. So Binance sees 2 of its top execs in Russia exit the company. So let's take a look at this one. There's a lot of news going on about what's going on with Binance. Binance has had a few problems, to say the least, in the last couple of months. Let's take a look at what's going on here. David says, hi Jess, how much are the t-shirts? I don't know how much the t-shirts are going to be, but they are going to be on the Crypto Saving Expert merch store. Hopefully we launch it within the, I don't want to give a deadline because it's not really my job to give a deadline. It's coming very, very soon. We've tried to keep the prices as low as possible, but I can't confirm a exact price right now. I'll try and find out for the next stream tomorrow. Tune back in tomorrow and I'll tell you the price of the t-shirt. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest crypto news. Let's see what's going on. Let's take a look at this next article. So what's happening with Binance? They're facing a lot of troubles here. They've seen 2 top execs in Russia leave. This comes after Binance has reportedly, what's happened is, in the last couple of months, first of all, Binance.us got a lawsuit filed against them from the SEC. They were being accused of offering securities. They were being accused of mixing funds between the Binance.us company and its affiliates, so Binance UK or whatever, all of those other branches, Binance Australia. So they're in this lawsuit with the SEC right now. We've also seen accusations reportedly from the Wall Street Journal, I believe, don't quote me on that one, saying that Binance hadn't actually, so what we've seen in the last couple of months is sanctions from Russia. Banks have been trying to stop transactions in and out of Russia, but Binance have reportedly not been following those sanctions. So we've seen some problems here, and now we're seeing Binance fixed those problems and saw out what was going on there, and now 2 execs have left. So we can see here they've written a statement: friends, today is my last day at Binance. I'm stepping down from my role as VP. So he also thanked Binance's CEO CZ and the exchange's co-founder and head of Binance Labs. So CZ offers support to the 2 former Binance execs. However, CZ supported their decision. Very difficult one here. Binance is reportedly considering exiting Russia. I would say right now, with all the news that's going on right now, just be very cautious. Don't hold all of your money on centralized exchanges. I can't tell you not to do that, but I would recommend against it. I try and hold as little as possible on centralized exchanges. We never know what is going to happen. Hopefully Binance is safe. I believe Binance is safe, but we never ever know for sure. We would have said that about FTX towards the end of last year as well. So we just have to be very, very careful. Let's see what else is going on here in the news. We have Japanese financial giant SBI expand XRP remittance to Indonesia, Vietnam, and the Philippines. So despite Ripple Labs' ongoing spat with the US SEC, we do have to remember that the court's decision surrounding XRP a couple of weeks ago was not the end of the lawsuit. That was one court judgment. We still have the lawsuit that needs to be finished and a decision to be made there. It wasn't it was a big win for XRP, but it wasn't the end. So we have to be prepared for that. And there may be some more debates to be coming very, very soon. So let's see what's going on here. PG says, are you personally keeping any funds on Binance? I heard Jordan say he was still keeping about 200,000 on there. I do not store any funds on Binance. I know Jordan does hold money on Binance. I think he would also recommend against it. I think I saw a clip from this video and he was also recommending against holding funds on Binance. Holding funds on any centralized exchanges has its risks. You can look at the different, there's like a tier structure here. Centralized exchanges are one of the most risky places to hold your cryptocurrency. Not your keys, not your crypto. We saw that with FTX. And although centralized exchanges have their benefits, they've got a nice user interface, they're easy to use, they do have their drawdowns, and those drawdowns I would say are pretty big, especially in a bear market. In a bear market when the prices are down, all cryptocurrency companies are getting that squeezed that little bit more. They've got that extra pressure, and we just want to be storing our cryptocurrency somewhere safe. I mean, you don't even have to go out and buy a hardware wallet and spend money on those things if you don't want to. There are cold storage wallets that you can use to keep your funds safe. Just do a little bit of research into that and see what you think. You don't have to, but if you're holding a significant amount, you are taking on additional risk. And we saw that with FTX. Nobody thought FTX was going to go down. Sam Bankman-Fried was seen as the king of cryptocurrency. He had arbitrage traded Bitcoin between South Korea and America, I don't know what the two places were, making a 50% profit on those arbitrage trades, made a huge amount of money and then invested that into making FTX. He was seen as this big successful man. FTX was seen as this original centralized exchange that was not going anywhere, and then all of a sudden we've seen all of this news breaking out, and we've seen withdrawals be halted, we've seen all those problems with FTX. Nobody saw that coming. So when we're looking at other centralized exchanges, we need to take that lesson that we learned in November last year and project that onto what's happening now. Yes, Binance might be absolutely fine. I really hope Binance will be absolutely fine, because that would cause a crash in the markets. But I would rather keep my own funds somewhere that I believe is safer, and that is moving them from centralized exchanges. Now, I would like to say also, other places that you can store your cryptocurrency does also have its risks. Nothing is risk-free. We can always take things one step further. For example, we have hardware wallets, and for a hardware wallet, you need to keep a copy of your private key. Your private key, however, you could get it wet. The paper, you could write it down on a piece of paper, you could get it wet, and you could maybe no longer read those words, or it could be in a fire. Then you could look at storing it in a metal case instead. There are loads of things that you can do to make things that extra bit safer. Now, we're not all going to go that extra mile, buy a hardware wallet, or even make our own wallet and then store it in a metal sealed case. We're not all going to be that extreme, but there are certain steps you can take to move towards the safer storage methods. So let's take a look at what else is going on. That was a massive detour there. As I said, getting very distracted today. Let's see what else is going on in the crypto news. Let's see what's going on in the chat this morning. Dylan says, this YouTube site, Interpret Crypto. Yes, that's the one, Dylan F. Thank you. Please subscribe. Also, before we forget, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification button for this channel. We do live streams here every single weekday at differing times right now. For the next week from tomorrow, they're going to be super early, so make sure to stay tuned for that. We run through the latest crypto news and we see what is going on in the markets, and we analyze the price of Bitcoin as well. We will be doing that at the end of today's stream today. It's already a long stream. We're 36 minutes in and we're nowhere near the end of the news. Let's try and be a bit quicker through this. $24 million phishing attack marks one of biggest in crypto history. So we've seen another attack and we've lost over $24 million in ST ETH and RETH. So these are staked Ethereum products. What we are seeing here is the scammer reportedly converted the funds into ETH and DAI and spread the cryptocurrency across several wallet addresses there as well. So it's really unfortunate to see more attacks in the cryptocurrency space. Now, I say this all the time, we're new to an industry. You don't get to see gains like we see in cryptocurrency in an industry that's been established for decades. We are new to the space, and with that, we get the potential of having huge gains on our investments. But with that, we also have to see the growing pains of a new industry. And in our case, this is cryptocurrency attacks. Cryptocurrency attacks continue to happen because we haven't had enough time to establish ourselves, to learn the best practices for our coding languages, and understand how we can avoid these. Obviously, they are something that I believe will continue for decades to come. We're also always going to see slight flaws every now and then, but they are very, very common right now, and I think they're going to become few and far between as time goes on. But this is what we get. We take the big gains, so we've got to take the losses. Let's see what else is going on in the crypto news. The importance of journalism in cryptocurrency. Now, if you're interested in working in the cryptocurrency sector, I will drop the link for this in today's chat. We also have another one here. So Binance updates its proof of reserves. This is a positive thing. Now, we've seen since FTX collapsed last year, a lot of centralized exchanges stepping up to the plate and saying, look, we're going to give proof of reserve audits as much as possible. Definitely something that is required here because, for example, with FTX, we all thought it was safe. We all trusted them. And we all decided when that collapsed, we can't trust any of them anymore. So we want to see proof of reserves regularly. And that just gives us that little bit extra confidence that we are okay to hold our funds on centralized exchanges. Now, as I said, I don't hold anything on Binance. I try to hold as little as possible on centralized exchanges, but I do understand that they do have their benefits. I do hold a little bit of my portfolio on a centralized exchange just for the ease of transactions. If I quickly want to dip into a token, I have the ability to do that because it's a little bit more complex if everything's on a hardware wallet. But so I do understand, but we have to calculate the risks. Don't have your whole portfolio on a centralized exchange if it's of significant value. Obviously, if you're holding $100, the transaction fees for you to move it into a hardware wallet will probably not be worth it. So you have to look at your own circumstance and work around that, but just try and be as safe as possible in the cryptocurrency space. It is the most painful thing in the world for you to lose your cryptocurrency and just watch the price of that token increase over the years to come. Now, what I want to show you here, let me log into Instagram quickly. Let me get this off the screen so I can log in. We have posted a video on the CryptoSavingExpert Instagram. Very, very sad thing here. Now, I have read, let me pull this out. Hold on. I keep popping it back in again. So CryptoSavingExpert. If you don't already follow us on Instagram, definitely make sure you do so. So this is our Instagram account, and you can see we've got a video here of a Brazilian streamer who lost $60,000 on stream after accidentally exposing private keys. Now let's take a look at this video.
Por favor. Quem fez isso, por favor, devolve.
So basically, this streamer from Brazil, let's read the caption here. So Brazilian streamer lost $60,000 crypto on stream to a scammer. So on August 29th, during a live streaming session on YouTube, the individual behind the Fraternidade crypto channel, I did not say that right at all, unknowingly disclosed his private key linked to a self-custodial cryptocurrency wallet. The incident unfolded in the midst of a live broadcast focused on Bitcoin and blockchain-based games when Bianco attempted to access his passwords for the Gala Games blockchain gaming platform, which were stored in a text file on his computer. But unfortunately, this text file contained not only his Gala Games passwords, but also the seed phrase necessary for unlocking his MetaMask wallet, housing a substantial quantity of Polygon's Matic tokens. Now, he did lose these tokens, and I have actually heard that the hacker saw how upset this guy was on his stream and returned $50,000 worth of that token. Now, don't quote me on that. That's just a rumor I have heard. Very interested to see if that is true, though. Obviously, very unfortunate for this guy. He's tried to take those extra steps to store his cryptocurrency safely using MetaMask rather than a centralized exchange, but then took on that risk and unfortunately exposed his private key to his community there. Let's see what else we have in the cryptocurrency news today. Let's run through the Instagram first of all. So the US screwed up here on crypto and blockchain policy, according to the chairman of Ripple Labs. He said, "This is the beginning now through the courts, unfortunately, instead of through regulators, to get that clarity and get us back in the game." So what we are seeing here is Ripple have won a court against the SEC. The SEC have also lost a lawsuit against Graysale. The SEC are just not having a good time. We've just got a new article from CryptoSavingExpert, and where's the Instagram gone? Here we go. And the chairman of Ripple Labs is saying, look, this is not how we should be operating. Instead of the cryptocurrency space having clear guidelines where we can create products and launch them, we have to go to court every time to prove that the SEC is doing something wrong. So it's not a very successful method right now. and we do need to see some change here. Let's take a look in the chat here. PG says, do you personally stake a lot, and have you lost any crypto from staking? I personally do not stake anything. Now, a lot of people do choose to stake, and there are some benefits for staking, and I understand why people do choose to stake, but personally, I have staked in the past. I've staked on decentralized exchanges. I used to use PancakeSwap in the bull market. Any of those that had like 1000% returns would only last about 12 hours, and then you'd probably get impermanent loss. I've tried everything in the book, essentially. Staking can be beneficial. If you hold a substantial amount of a token, you can create huge wins. But personally, I don't think the percentage gain that I would receive on my portfolio, which isn't as big as others in the space, isn't worth the additional risks, for one, and the inability to access my funds immediately. So sometimes it depends what token you're staking and what platform you're staking on, but frequently you can see it takes 24 hours to unlock your tokens or something like this, and to have that inability to access my funds immediately is something I don't think is worthwhile when I'm only earning, say, 0.5% APY or 1% APY or whatever it is. I know some of the APYs can be quite good, but for the amount that I would feel comfortable staking, I don't think that is worth the additional those problems, essentially the additional risk and the inability to unstake. But there is a lot of people that go out there, stake and make huge wins, get huge benefits. It's just not personally for me and my own portfolio. But if you do want to learn about staking, we've got guides and courses over on the Crypto Saving Expert website. Let's take a look at what's going on with the price of Bitcoin now, see what's going on here. Now I'm going to delete all my lines and we can start this all again together. First of all, I'm going to add the volume indicator on here. And then we can take a look at the 4-hour chart. Now, actually, do you know what? Let's start on the daily chart and let's zoom in. First of all, we have a very crucial level of resistance. Let's get the rectangle box out here. So I'm looking at this point here. No, that was way too high. Let's take a look. So we've got between $28,970 to $32,300. That is a massive level of support in the previous bull market, and one that is currently acting as a level of resistance right now. Now, if we break through that $32,300 level, you best believe I'll be putting on a long position for Bitcoin. That will be a very exciting point in time. But what we can see here is that we are not currently in that high level of resistance, and instead we are trading down at $25,700. Now, we have seen an uptrend on the daily chart. We're seeing higher highs and higher lows. We have not yet broke the recent low. So what we can see here is, let's get the the horizontal line out here. We have a previous level of resistance from here and here, so February 2023 and August 2022. That was an inverse head and shoulders pattern there at that point in time as well. If I get the brush out here, you can see we've got a shoulder here, a head here, and a shoulder here. We did have a confirmation bounce, and then we had some bad news. So we've not really seen the results that we wanted to see from that, but we are still holding this level of previous resistance as a level of support. Now, this is at $25,200. If we break down below this level, things could turn pretty nasty. So what you can see here is we have this level of support. We have this strong level of resistance, which I personally, this is going to sound super bearish, I personally don't think we'll be breaking that $32,300 level for a couple of months. And I think we could be in store for some sideways action. We could be in store for some nice volatility. I mean, there's still a nice range for us to break around there and test out there. But I think this is a strong level of support, and we've seen this over and over again. We're not yet at the Bitcoin halving. We're not close enough to it yet to see much bigger gains than we've already seen this year. So I'm preparing myself for some sideways action. I've got some money on the sideline to enter if we do see $20,000 Bitcoin. But if we hold this level of support, we could just be in for some, and Bitcoin's been doing some sideways action this year, and it could continue. If you take a look at the volumes, they're absolutely disgusting. So you can see in the previous bull market, volumes were high, increasing, and then just dropped off a cliff. And now we've been at these low volume levels since around March this year. Now, I like to see volatility. I like to see high volumes, but it's just not something I think we're going to get until around the start of next year. When we have that Bitcoin halving in April 2024, I'm expecting to see some really exciting stuff there. Now, obviously, nothing is financial advice. I don't think I can give my price predictions here on this channel, but historically, what we have seen is in a 4-year cycle, which has kicked off by the Bitcoin halving. Typically, by the time the Bitcoin halving has arrived, we've already seen some pretty nice gains from the bottom of the bear market, and typically, we're in around 3 months after the Bitcoin halving, we retest on a current all-time high and see if we can beat it. Now, if we project that onto what's happening here, that would suggest that in around August next year, we could be seeing a retest of that $70,000 level. And if we take a look at the time scales, typically, a bull market lasts a year and a half after the Bitcoin halving. So that could mean we could be in store for some upwards momentum until September 2025. So that's personally why I'm getting excited. That is just taking historical prices and projecting that onto the current time scales. Obviously, that can change, but that is what I am personally looking at right now. And if that trend breaks, then I'll have to reassess that and look elsewhere. Let's take a look at the chat now. PG says, have you any personal scam experiences you can share where you've lost crypto, or have you not lost any? So I think everybody you speak to in crypto that has been in the space for a while has had a very unfortunate event, and I have had a very unfortunate event. I have invested in a pre-sale that didn't exist, for one, and I was very early when I joined cryptocurrency, but my biggest loss was in the was not due to a scam, it was due to over leveraging my portfolio. Now, when I say I over leveraged my portfolio, I wasn't being too risky with my investment. I mean, my leverage was between 3 to 5x on, but that leverage was on around 95% of my portfolio. So the gains I was making, I was very, very impressed with. When I'm talking about here is I'm talking about this run up here. So from the pandemic, until May 2021, my portfolio was on around 3 to 5x leverage continuously, buying as much as possible, seeing huge gains as we all were, very, very excited. And then this dip hit here and I lost a huge amount of money because I was over leveraged, exposing my portfolio to leverage, and I got liquidated on a huge portion of my portfolio. So since then, I had to basically start from scratch, learn again, move forward and learn how to continue on. I mean, that is something that you either learn from and then build again in the space, or you just leave the space completely. But I think every single person that you speak to in crypto has had an experience similar to that, unfortunately. But it's a lesson we all have to learn, and sometimes you can learn from my mistakes, or you can make them yourself. But just be very careful with leverage now. I always try and keep the majority of my portfolio somewhere I can't touch it, and somewhere I can't get my hands on it to put it on a 10x trade. Because it can be tempting at times. Let's see what's going on here. Randy says, is it true that large private purchases of Bitcoin will not show up on the market volumes? Now, if we see over-the-counter trades, so if companies are buying from one to another and we're seeing peer-to-peer transactions, we won't see that on like a centralized exchange's volume. We can see it. It depends how they do it. Over-the-counter transactions should be done personally. They can just hand over a wallet. It depends how they do it. We may not always know for sure. We do have transparency on the blockchain, but who's to say I don't write down my 12 private keys and just hand them to you? That's your wallet now. But I don't think the big institutions would do that, because there's always the chance the first guy's got a second copy. But with over-the-counter transactions, it is a little bit more tricky to identify. I think that is all we really have for today's stream, though. One last story of the day. Breaking news here. Vice President Harris has said she may have to take over as president of the USA and is ready to do so. So I've been reading through the comments here. If you don't like Joe Biden, you'll probably like all of these comments. But that is what's happening right now. So that's breaking news yesterday evening. So let's keep an eye on that. But we all know Biden doesn't like cryptocurrency. I don't actually know Harris's opinion on cryptocurrency, but it'd be interesting to see. I think that's all we have for today's stream, though. We have been on here for almost an hour today, and that's a lot longer than usual. Before I forget, let's go through the merch store one more time for those that weren't at the start of the stream. We are launching CSE merch store very, very soon. We've got these LED lights. I've not yet plugged mine in. I've not connected all the wires up yet, so I can't even show you what it looks like. But very, very soon, this will be on the wall behind me. A big Bitcoin B in flashing orange lights. We are going to also be launching a Bitcoin socks, so make sure to check those out. And we're launching these lovely flask here, where you have a Bitcoin logo on one side and the CSE logo on the other side. Now, we've got loads of other stuff going on in the CSE merch store, and we're really filling it out, and we should be launching that very, very soon. If you sign up to Crypto Saving Expert Plus or Premium, you get a voucher for the merch store included in your membership. So if you go to CSE website and you go to CSE Plus, if you take a look down, scroll to the bottom, you'll be able to find everything included in a Community Plus and a Premium membership. If you want to get involved in the CSE community, CSE Plus is definitely worthwhile for you. We also have a £75 CSE merch store gift card for Community Plus members and a £125 CSE merch store gift card for premium members as well. Also, I know, do you know what? I think that's it. Next week, I will show you, every week, I'll bring in a new item from the merch store, just so we can keep it interesting. Until the merch store goes live, I'll show you different things that we're going to be launching, and I am very, very excited to see how it performs. But that is all we have for today. Thank you very much for watching, as always. I'm going to go off this stream now. It's very, very hot, and these lights are very, very hot. That is all we have for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you back here tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, very, very early. I think tomorrow's stream is going to be around 5:30 a.m. UK time. So for those of you that are in Australia or anywhere else other than the UK, it might be beneficial for you. But let's kickstart your day with some cryptocurrency news. That's all.